This case is not just about bond conditions or court procedure. It's about a man standing at the edge, with the court trying to decide whether freedom helps him or kills him. Today, we're inside a Michigan courtroom as Judge Simpson confronts Peter Heenan, a man with years of sobriety behind him, but a devastating relapse unfolding in real time. What starts as a routine bond hearing quickly turns into one of the most raw, uncomfortable exchanges you'll ever see on the record. Alcohol monitoring, rehab failures, missed aftercare, shaken hands, DoorDash alcohol deliveries. Every detail matters here. And Judge Simpson isn't just enforcing the law. He's weighing life, safety, and accountability. The question becomes chillingly clear. Can the court trust Peter with freedom, or is custody the only thing standing between him and tragedy? Watch closely, because every answer Peter gives pushes this case in a direction no one expects.
Court does call the case of People State of Michigan versus Peter Heenan.
Nicole, you on behalf of the people.
Right here.
Nope. So, other side.
Sir.
There you go. Go ahead, counsel.
Good afternoon, Judge. Jackie Mossbohr, and on behalf of Mr. Heenan, who is present to my right.
And John Shea, Your Honor, is
All right. Okay, Mr. Heenan, and the record should reflect just briefly set it out that while we were waiting for the courtroom change, I had a bench conference with counsel, and given those discussions, Mr. Heenan was, prior to calling his case, sent over to Community Corrections to obtain a strand tether and also to take a full panel drug test. Went over, did that, came back a 0.10 on a PBT, could not have the strand tether put on because of that. And also came back in terms of his drug testing with a possible dilution in terms of the creatinine level. Came back positive for benzos and came back for positives on benzos.
This is where the hearing quietly turns serious. A failed alcohol test, a positive benzo result, and a diluted drug screen immediately raise red flags in any court, especially during a bond review. Legally speaking, Judge Simpson now has probable cause to question compliance with bond conditions. Even though Peter claims a prescription for Zoloft, the timing matters. Courts don't just look at what you took, they look at when, why, and whether it aligns with prior disclosures. Add to that a 0.10 PBT earlier in the day, and suddenly this isn't a gray area anymore. This is about credibility. Judges rely heavily on honesty during supervision, and once inconsistencies start stacking up, judicial trust erodes fast. At this moment, Judge Simpson isn't accusing, he's assessing risk. And the risk, legally and practically, is starting to look unmanageable.
Sir, you take Zoloft?
I do, sir.
All right. How long have you had that prescription?
Just started last night. I've taken it before, but I was in jail for 6 days, so I had to stop. And so then I started again. Oh, sorry. The new script is from 2 days ago. Sorry.
Hold on. You got a prescription for Zoloft 2 days ago?
Yes, Your Honor. I did. So rehab, I was in treatment, and they gave me a packet of Zoloft. So I've been using that, but I needed more. So I called my primary care doctor, and he prescribed, I think, 30.
Okay, you had that prescription filled.
Yes, Your Honor. And
So,
delivered.
hold on. I just need to back up for a moment because I'm trying to find out where you are right now and have a greater understanding. You were in rehab. When did you get out of rehab?
May 12th, I believe.
Okay. And when you got out of rehab, you had Zoloft.
Yes, they send you home with a 30-day supply.
And so at some point, then you ran out.
No, I still have some, but I needed to call my doctor anyway and tell him about this. And so I asked for a refill.
Okay. All right. Where were you in treatment?
West Palm Beach in, it's called Hanley. It's a very good treatment center.
To what?
A very, very good treatment center.
How long were you there?
I was originally 30 days, but I extended to 45 voluntarily.
Was there aftercare that was to follow that?
There was. So I have a therapist. The University of Michigan IOP can't take me for 6 months because I missed
Okay.
an appointment, and that's,
Because you missed an appointment with them?
yes, and that's their policy.
Yeah. So since you missed that, what have you been doing anything? Because you were supposed to go and do intensive outpatient,
Yes.
right? So at the point that you're supposed to go into intensive outpatient, you find out that you can't get in at U of M. What do?
So I have SoberLink, and my kids have a GAL. So I'm required to do multiple AA meetings a day.
Okay, but I get that. But in terms of an IOP, I mean, sorry. But go ahead if you want to try.
Oh, I've reached out to Brighton. They have an IOP program. It's on Zoom though, and I think
You get enrolled?
I can.
Well, no. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. All right. And so I'm asking you these questions for a reason. I'm not asking you to try to trick you into anything. I'm just trying to figure out, like I said, where you are.
Sure.
So you get out of treatment. Part of the aftercare on the treatment program that you're in is that you were supposed to get yourself into an IOP, right?
Your Honor, that was part of the condition. Also, the SoberLink and one AA meeting a day.
Hold on. On whose condition?
Oh, the treatment center's recommendation.
Okay. You got me a little bit lost here. You go into the treatment center in Florida. You come out. They're basically, upon discharging you or releasing you from that, they're putting into place or give you a plan, an aftercare plan, right?
Yep.
Part of that aftercare plan was you were to get yourself into intensive outpatient treatment,
Yes, sir.
right? Their recommendation was something here local at University of Michigan, right?
Yes, sir.
You were supposed to call them, but missed that somehow and or another. And then, as per their policy, you can't get in for a while.
6 months.
Right. After all that happens, what do you do instead of, I don't want to put it that way. What do you then do? Nothing? You didn't get yourself into any type of treatment program, is that right?
I found a therapist, and no, I did not find an IOP. Your Honor.
Okay. Let me just ask you, and I won't hold you to it only because I know you've been drinking, but why didn't you do that? Honest answer.
Sometimes I feel like AA is more effective because I've done an IOP program before, and it's on Zoom. And sometimes I feel like AA and SoberLink is more helpful. especially in person,
Okay. Not yelling at you, but I'm just going to tell you, if you could figure it out yourself, you wouldn't be in the position that you're in right now, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
If it went just on your feelings of what you thought was best, we wouldn't be here dealing with this part of this, would we?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's why you have other people kind of guide you as to what you really need to do. I also have a feeling that the program that you laid out for yourself, while you think effective, is actually just easier than doing the IOP, because an IOP can be difficult.
I desperately wanted that Michigan ILP 9 to 1, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I just screwed it up.
Right. But then you also then didn't put anything in place once you had messed up.
Right.
And in fact, if you're going to be honest about it, the stuff that you put in place was just easier stuff so that you could say you're doing something.
That's fair, Your Honor.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it for a while. And that's why you weren't going to go into the IOP.
It was the easier path.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Heenan, let me ask you this. You blew a 1-0. When did you stop drinking? When's the last time you had a drink?
So about 4, I woke up and my hands were shaking. So I drank some high noon. And then at
How
7,
much high noon did you have?
just enough till my hands stopped shaking.
Okay, what's that? Tell me what that means.
Like for me, it's like 4 to 6. And then at 7 this morning, when the liquor stores open, I had a DoorDash delivery of more high noon. And I drank again until my head stopped shaking.
And how much did you have that time?
Your Honor, honestly, I just kept drinking until my hands stopped shaking. It was a 4-pack.
Okay, it was a 4-pack.
High noon comes in 4-pack.
Right. And so did you drink them all?
Oh yeah,
Okay. And how long did that take you?
I chugged.
Okay. So that DoorDash delivery at 7, that was the last you had?
Yes, and my hands were shaking, so I've got a bunch of empties, and I this is how desperate I was. I would pick up all the empties on my table and see if there were sips.
This is one of the most painful moments in the entire hearing. Peter's admission, shaking hands, drinking just to function, counting empty cans, isn't just devastating emotionally, it's legally damning. Courts recognize withdrawal symptoms as medical emergencies, but they also confirm dependency. Judge Simpson now knows this isn't casual drinking. This is survival drinking. And when Peter admits to drinking knowing he had court, it signals impaired judgment at the highest level. That matters. Judges are tasked with protecting both the defendant and the public, and at this point, Peter is showing he cannot protect himself. The heartbreak here is real. Divorce, loss of children, loss of employment. But the law can't operate on sympathy alone. The question for viewers is this. When someone is clearly unraveling, is jail cruel, or is it the last line of protection?
And there was one that was like that full, and I chugged that as well. It wasn't.
What? Hold on.
Sorry.
What time did you do that?
It was between 7 and 8 because I knew I had this coming.
Okay.
I didn't want to come in under the influence.
So at 8 o'clock, from 8 o'clock till I don't know what time we first called your case. Well, when you went over to community corrections, so that was around 3 o'clock, maybe somewhere around there. Between 8 and 3, did you have anything to drink?
No, Your Honor. It was 2:30 community corrections.
Okay, at 2:30. But so when you chug that half to 2:30, you didn't have anything to drink.
No, Your Honor. Last night, I drank quite a bit, though. Basically, I lost my boys in a dispute, and I've been on a bender.
Okay. So, Mr. Heenan, I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm trying to figure out where you are and trying to, when you say you've been on a bender, what were you drinking the night before and how much?
White Claw. I drank, gosh, probably 15.
Okay. And that would have been last night sometime. When you say that you stopped about 4, you said, or something like that?
I woke up at 4.
You woke up at 4. So yesterday you were drinking White Claw. You had about 15
Yes, Your Honor.
for over just that day, that evening.
All day, yeah.
Okay. And at some point you stopped drinking. Either you passed out or you just stopped.
Yeah, no, I
You
felt
probably passed out.
passed out, Your Honor.
Yeah. And then you woke up at 4.
Yep.
And then you needed something else.
Yeah, my hands were
Right. I get why. But you needed something else, and that's when you got the other stuff. Or you already had that.
I already had it.
Okay.
I had White Claw and High Noon. I usually when I'm sober, I'm a fit person. I run marathons and stuff. So High Noon and White Claw are the lowest calorie drinks.
Okay. And so then you switched to the High Noon and you did that, right?
Chugged them.
You're Heenan. Do you think you're in trouble? I mean, just not with the court. I'm not talking about with the court, but just with you and your sobriety.
I do. I have 16 years of sobriety. So I know I can do it. I'm just having a hard time right now with this divorce and losing the kids. And just life is hard right now. I had to resign my job I loved. It's just been a rough.
Okay, so right now you're also not working.
I had to resign to go to treatment.
All right. So here's what I'm just going to let you know that you're going to be staying at the Washington County Jail, temporarily revoke your bond. Okay. Now, I'm not doing that necessarily as a punishment, but I have no way to release you and keep the community nor you safe. Okay. And I'll just ask you this. You're going to come back tomorrow. Okay. And I'm going to set that for 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. When you come back, and I may ask you this tomorrow, but I want to know right now, what would you like to see happen right now for you?
I would like it to scram, tether, and start taking antabuse.
Okay, Mr. Heenan, is that what you really would like to see happen?
I need some accountability, yes.
Okay, but you also need some help.
Right. I agree. I do have a sponsor.
Have you called your sponsor? No, you haven't. Hold it. Answer my question. Have you called your sponsor?
No, I was too embarrassed.
Yeah. And the reason that you want the scram and the antabuse is because those are sort of easy things that I can do out of sight. Okay,
I don't,
you don't have to answer that.
okay.
Okay, because I know what's going on. I've been doing this a minute. Okay. Between now and tomorrow morning, here's the thing that you're gonna have to, you're gonna need to do the hard work. This isn't gonna be easy. And you have to get in your head, because you've done it before, but you have to get in your head that there's not going to be an easy path. This is going to be a hard path for you. And I think you really do know that inside. You just don't want it to come out. People don't come to me whenever they're before me and ask me, give me a hard way to go, Judge. They don't do that, right? So I'm not expecting you to necessarily say that to me. I'm just telling you, this isn't going to be this easy path, this shortcut. And you got to wrap your head around that, right? You just have to understand that. So we're going to try to get something in place for you, because let me put it this way. If I let you out right now, you don't make it through the night without drinking. And you know that.
This is the moment Judge Simpson fully lays his cards on the table, and it's extraordinary. He dismantles the illusion that a scram tether is a solution. Legally, he's right. A tether doesn't prevent drinking, it only documents it. And in this case, documentation after the fact could mean death. This is a judge using experience, not ego. When he says, if I let you out, we're going to lose you. That's not hyperbole. That's judicial foresight grounded in years of watching similar cases end badly. Notice how Judge Simpson reframes custody, not punishment, but intervention. He's acknowledging that accountability tools don't work when someone is in active crisis. This is the law colliding with humanity, and Judge Simpson choosing life over optics.
Not with the scram.
I could put that scream on you. You're going to drink.
I spent,
No, you're going to drink.
okay.
That scram is not a magic bullet. It's not going to stop you. The only thing that scram is going to do, quite frankly, where you are, the only thing the scram is going to do is just tell on you. It's not going to stop you from drinking. Realize that you pounded down 15 White Claws, and then you did 4, then that wasn't enough, and you had to call somebody to bring you more alcohol. Do you think a thing around your ankle is going to stop you after that? No, it's not.
Jail was really hard for me.
I know.
So that alone would stop me.
For a while.
I understand.
But you're going to go tonight. And then we're going to see you tomorrow morning. And Mr. Heenan, you'll never, or maybe one day you'll understand it. I'm not doing it to be mean. I don't want to lose you. And I know if I let you out of here, there's a good chance we're going to lose you.
Thank you.
Probable cause conference will be adjourning. I'll just also call it a bond hearing. What is tomorrow, the 3rd? July 3rd, 2024 at 10 a.m. At this time, defendant bond is revoked. Let's reset it tomorrow. Thank you. Court calls the case, People versus Peter Heenan.
Prosecuting attorney, Rose, on behalf of people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jackie Moss on behalf of Mr. Heenan, who is approaching.
Behind the legal back and forth lies a deeper addiction, broken trust, and a man fighting to regain control of his life. The judge isn't just weighing laws, but life itself, knowing one wrong choice outside the courtroom could end in tragedy.
All right. How are you doing, Mr. Heenan?
Doing okay, Your Honor.
Okay. Where are we on this? Did we get any update on Bear River?
Your Honor, in regards to, pardon me, in regards to Bear River, yes, the update is Bear River can have Mr. Heenan admitted within 24 to 48 hours. However, they would require the referral from CMH. That was not able to take place yesterday because CMH said they required an order from Your Honor before
For CMH to evaluate him?
Yes. With that being said, my understanding is that in custody evaluations take place twice per week on Wednesdays and on Fridays. So if they received an order today, they could potentially get to him on Friday. If not, then it'd be into next week.
Okay.
With that being said, my position would be that where we left off yesterday, Your Honor was entertaining the idea of releasing Mr. Heenan on a scram tether. If the court is inclined to do so at this time, upon release, Mr. Heenan would be able to call the CMH hotline and immediately be evaluated. It's a 20 to 30-minute phone interview process, and then Mr. Heenan could continue with the admittance process with either Bear River or Mr. Heenan did mention another facility, Liberty Treatment, which is in Fayette, Michigan, Your Honor.
People have a position on this.
Your Honor, ultimately, I think we would defer to the court's discretion. The people really want to make sure that Mr. Heenan gets into treatment as soon as possible. I just ask that we set him up for success as best we can. So if we are going to release him on a scram, I ask that counsel help him get situated with making that call to CMH so that he's not left on his own to do that without any assistance in case he needs it.
I would definitely be willing to do so, Your Honor. And one other thing I wanted to apprise the court, there are a few matters that Mr. Heenan would need to get in order in terms of personal affairs, primarily his rent, and actually more importantly, as a part of the settlement agreement in his divorce, he's ordered to pay the tuition for his son's private school. That payment is due on or before July 10th. Mr. Heenan does not have his credit card information with him. All of that is at home. So in order to be able to comply with that, that is another reason that we are asking that Mr. Heenan be allowed on scram tether.
Mr. Heenan, when you're out, who helps with just your support around you? I mean, what other people are around you?
I don't have much support, just AA.
And that you've been doing via Zoom?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, because here's part of my issue. Counsel's going to only be able to take you so far. So yeah, get you out, get the call made, but then you're there. And I understand that you've got the tether on, you would have the scram unit on, but all that may tell me is that you're going to, that you drank. I'm just real concerned. I mean, I'm just gonna be blunt about it. I don't know how you make it, even if for a day or two. I just don't know how you make it. That's my problem. And I think you know that too. Am I right?
Your Honor, I can do this. I can do it. I know I can.
And I want to believe you. I'm not sure I do.
I'm having a hard time here. I don't ever want to come back to jail. I'm not a bad person.
Hey, Shane, so that you understand, I don't think that you're a bad person either. I just don't. I'm more worried about you and what you do. That talk we had yesterday, I was kind of making that clear to you. That I'll be honest with you, I don't want you dying. That's what because eventually you're going to run out of opportunity and chances. And what weighs heavily on me, given what we went through that you past few days, is I could let you out on a scram tether and I never get you back.
For what it's worth, Your Honor, I did have a very frank and blunt conversation with Mr. Heenan and informed him that if the scram tether did indicate that there was consumption of alcohol, Mr. Heenan would very likely remain in custody for the pendency of his case.
Here's what I'm going to do. And you're not going to like it, Mr. Heenan, but I'm making the call. You're not going anywhere. I'll sign the order. He'll get assessed on Friday. And we're going to get you out to Bear River and start this process. We'll have to somehow or another figure out a way you'll be able to have your credit card at some point and get some information so that you can get that tuition paid and find a way to get your rent paid. But all of that, it's important. Those are important issues, but all of that pales in comparison to where this could be. Mr. Heenan, how'd you get here yesterday?
I drove.
Yeah. And I'm letting you know that that factors into my decision because, Mr. Heenan, by the time we got to you and you didn't drink while you were here, you were a 0.10. By the time we got you over to community corrections, and you had already been here a while. It's that behavior that, and again, I'm not saying that you're a bad person, but your inability to make a proper judgment on that, that leads me to the conclusion that I have to keep you right where you are, get an order, get CMH to talk to you, and get you into treatment. So that's what I'm going to do. And counsel, somebody will need to prepare an order for the court signature to do that because I don't. And I will sign it and we'll get it there. So at this point, I'm just going to continue your bond as revoked. I'm not going to even set an amount at this point. And I will adjourn the probable cause out. Okay, why don't I do this so that, again, we don't lose track. I'll set it for the 11th.
Okay.
2024 at 9. And then if there becomes an issue, we can get to the prosecutor. We can step to do something else. Anything further?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have a good holiday.
In the end, Judge Simpson makes one of the hardest calls a judge can make, keeping a man in custody for his own survival. Bond remains revoked, treatment is ordered, and the court prioritizes rehabilitation over immediate release. This wasn't about defiance or punishment. It was about recognizing that freedom, in this moment, pose the greatest danger. The broader implication here is powerful. Courts are increasingly acting as crisis intervention points when addiction intersects with criminal proceedings. Judge Simpson's ruling reinforces that accountability without treatment is meaningless, and that sometimes the hardest decisions are the most compassionate. If you found this case as shocking and emotional as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns where law, life, and human reality collide.